Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Blue Story. I had this on my list for a while and finally I'm getting around to watching it. Hour and 31 minutes long. It's about two kids from different postal codes. That's in the IMDb explanation, so they're from different towns. But they end up going to school together or something like that and building a friendship. And then that friendship is tested when they end up on opposite sides of street gangs or something along those lines. So kind of interesting. It says 5.9 on IMDb. Only 3,000 people have rated it so far, and it's been out a while, so I'm surprised. It's free on Prime, which is great. So I'm going to let you know if it's worth your time, because if it's free, it's worth your money. But we'll see if it's worth your time. Evidently, it's based on a YouTube short by the director and writer of this. His name is Rapman, R-A-P-M-A-N, and I was like, okay, that must be his last name. I think he's like Madonna, just with one name, Rapman. Don't know him, sorry. Not to, that just shows you my lack of knowledge in that area. But, so, and it depicts some things in his life. So this might have been, this is kind of like based on a true story of him, from what I gather. I don't know. I'll get into it here, find out what it's really about, give you a better idea of the synopsis, and then ultimately let you know what I think. Stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in. We're watching Blue Story. We're at the 49-minute, 20-second mark. So, kind of perfect spot for me to catch you up on really what the plot is about. So Timmy and Marco, they're the best friends, right? So Timmy is from a different side of town, but I guess they go to a private school. And because of that, that's where he meets Marco. And it's set up right in the beginning. And it seems like everybody else is from Peckville or something like that, whereas Timmy is from somewhere else, GB something. I don't know the names, it's not important. But, they become best friends. Well, Marco's brother is the head of the gang in Peckville, or whatever the name of the town is there, and they have a gang there, and then of course, where Timmy is from, they have a gang as well. And this is all in, I believe in London, I don't know, it's over in England somewhere. But, so there's an accent issue that sometimes it's hard to, the way they talk is hard to pick up what they're saying, but you get it in general. It's hard for me anyway, maybe not for everybody. But anyway, Timmy and Marco are best friends for their entire life. There's a group of 4 guys, they do everything together. Timmy finds love in his school with Leah is the girl, and so he starts hanging out with her. Meanwhile, one of Timmy's old friends from his old town and stuff kind of confronts Marco and doesn't hit it off too well, but then they come back and they get in a fight. So now Marco's upset with Timmy because of his friends, even though they're not really friends anymore, and that creates tension between them. Leah tries to get involved. Marco treats Leah poorly. And so that's how the riff kind of starts. Marco, like I said, is associated through his brother through the gang. He's not really in the gang at that point. And Timmy has nothing to do with the gangs. He's just hanging out in school, and his hometown has a gang that they're rivals with. So it's not like they rose up in gangs or anything like that. So it seems like Marco's probably going to be more involved with his brother's gang. Timmy's going to be more involved with Leah. But there's the tension there where they're going to start roughing each other up, and using the gangs to do that. Whereas I don't think Timmy will, but anyway. That's what you got. So far, so good. Right in the beginning, I was laughing. I enjoyed it because I like to see the 4 friends hanging out and picking on each other and all that stuff. And they go to parties, and that was fun. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to understand exactly what they're saying because they have their own kind of slang. But in general, you get it. And it's interesting. And Rapman is rapping. I'm assuming it's Rapman is rapping throughout it. So like there's little spots like right in the beginning he raps about how Timmy had to go to a new school, and then if somebody gets killed in a gang war, he sings about that or raps about that. So it's kind of cool. It's not like a musical or anything like that, but at certain points he comes in and raps what the whole scene was about. So so Rapman is probably a rapper too, as well as a director and a writer. But I could have probably told you that by his name. Anyway. So that's really what the plot is about. We'll see where it goes from here. But you can kind of see where it's like, I give you, Timmy is more of the scholarly kind of guy, the straight and narrow, whereas Marco was straight and narrow, but you can tell there's tendencies to you know, to be loyal to his brother and to his gang. And then the two other friends are in there. They're kind of like Marco. It's not, they're Team Marco, not Team Timmy. But there we go. So we'll see where it goes from here. Just over halfway. There's another 42 minutes left, but it's pretty interesting. So I'll check back in probably at the credits and give you my final thoughts. But so far, so good. I mean, for a free movie, it's awesome. So, but I'll give you my final ratings in a little bit. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Blue Story, and I just put that together. Instead of True Story, it's Blue Story, because one of the gangs wears blue. The GBs, the non-Peckville people. So I just got that. It's based on a true story, which I assume was by Ratman. So I thought it was really good. I loved the character development for our two main characters, Marco and Timmy, right? And it's interesting, right after my check-in, it escalates and jumps 3 years into the future. So that's interesting, just so you know. So that happens, and it's like, okay. And they took it forward from there. And it was pretty good what they did now. So that was just over halfway. And they had the whole second half of the movie, I think, to talk about, you know, what happens 3 years later and all that kind of stuff. And it's still gang-related. And here's the area of opportunity for me. Like, we, at the first 40 whatever odd minutes, was really focused on Timmy and Marco and the development there. Well done, alright? I'm invested in these characters. I care what happens. But the second part is them 3 years later with the gangs that they're in. There's not enough development on the gang members. And, you know, well, it's like, okay, well, whatever, you know, it is important when you watch the rest of the movie. There's, you know, you need more depth on the gang members. There's a little bit here and there to make the plot work, but not enough. And I think one of the gang members in the second half of the movie was Ratman. I think that's who he was. I think he was on Timmy's side. And, you know, I'm just guessing. I don't know. I didn't read into it too much, but that's the piece that they needed. Everything else was great. I enjoyed it. I love movies about true facts. There was no post-credits. This is what happened since. There was no pictures of the real people or anything like that. So it's one thing I always like in a movie. But at the end, you know, Ratman raps kind of what happens. So a little bit of a substitute there. And so I thought that was cool, the way that they worked that in. And if, you know, at first I wasn't paying attention to his rap so much because it was early in the movie, but then when the movie progresses, he really, you know, narrates the story, but with a cool style. So there you go. I mean, if they were just to fix that a little bit, and I don't even know if he needed more time, it just needed a little bit more development on those sides, really on Timmy's side and the blue side, not so much the black side. I think they were developed. It was developed enough because it was on that side. That's Marco and his brother, and that was there. You know, and then, well, I mean, still they brought in his cousin, and you know, it was like, oh, here he is. But what's this? Why should we care so much about him? And then the same kind of thing, like on Timmy's side, but those gang members, why do we care about them? We don't know that much. You know, we know what happens, so on and so forth. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Drop me some comments. See if you agree with what I'm saying, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But if you like these types of movies, this one was rather good, and I'm glad I finally watched it, and it was free. So good movie. Might want to watch it with closed captions for me. Again, that was a little bit hard, and then the lack of the gang member character development in the second half of the movie. Otherwise, it was really good. I liked the actors. I liked the development in the first half. I liked the plot. I liked the fact that it was based on a blue story, true story. And there you go. So I'm probably in the 6, maybe on a 7 range in that area. So, okay, drop me some comments. You know the drill. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you want to hit the like button, go ahead. More importantly, continue to tune in each and every day for Kimmel's Irish Pub.